In this video, I will explain our modified GitHub flow process for our GitLab instance. And I do this for my client. They just took over a product from us and I wanted to know the best way to run their pipelines. So I make this video for the client, but maybe you can also learn and take away something from this. So what we do is we use the GitHub flow and modify it a bit. GitHub flow you can find here under this link, githubflow.github.io. The idea of GitHub flow is that you have a master branch, or now called a main branch, and you can always deploy from there. And this is how it looks like when you graphically describe it. So this is how this whole thing looks like. We have a main branch, and the idea is from the main branch, you can always deploy. So this is the initial idea of GitHub flow. And now we modify this thing a bit because we wanted to have an additional deploy branch. This is our deploy branch here. And these are feature branches. So feature branch 1, feature branch 2. So we are branching off to develop a feature, and then we're branching into the main branch to merge that feature. But what we want to do when we are deploying something is we have another branch called the deploy branch. And every time we merge something into the deployment, into the deploy branch, it directly goes into our preview instance on our preview server. And we do this as much as we need in order to find a version that we like and that we then want to deploy to production. Real quick, this is how it looks like in the GitLab config. So we have the deploy preview here in our GitLab-ci.yaml. What we want to do is we want to just set this one here to only deploy. Now the cool thing is, so this all works, and I think this is fairly easy. Anytime you merge in there, every Friday, the development team says, okay, let's make a new preview version. Merge in there, done. What if you want to go to production? And now this is the config for production. We're doing tags and only manual. This has a reason, let me explain. Going at production means that you have tested a version, and usually under those preview instances on the apps that we're building, you always see the commit hash. So you always see which version you actually testing right now. Once there's a version and the client approves of it, then you can directly set a tag here. And yes, let's say you set it at 101. And once there's a tag, there is a small thing popping up in GitLab, and it looks almost like this. Here you have then a run symbol on the production deploy, but this has been done already, so it's already green. But basically what happens is you are then able to manually trigger the deploy. And then you would say here, this has a play button. Once you do that, then the GitLab goes ahead and deploys it on our production server. And then we have a new version. To us, this is a very simple workflow, very easy to understand. And we have another fail-safe before you go to a preview environment. You have to manually merge it, and then you would get the version automatically. And then you again manually have to confirm for production deployment. So it's a bit more control than just GitHub flow, but it's a very easy way to set up your pipelines. If you had any questions and if you like this, comment below.